My great-great-great-grandfather came here in about 1880. We've been here off and on since 1880, always off-grid. When we were younger, we just were on with a generator, so for the bulk of the day you didn't have lights on at all. Washing day was a Monday. Since then we've progressed on a little bit. It's made this seem quite a bit more normal, but the more people that see the system and we show the system to, the less normal we feel as far as keeping up in the 21st century. We feel like we're still in the 20th century, basically. A very similar hill farm a little bit further north in the Northumberland National Park got mains in, I think it'll be about 10 years ago. I think it cost around about 35,000 then, so I mean, it could almost be doubled now, I don't know.
It would just be impossible for us to find that kind of money to be able to pay for it. I would love to have mains electric. And somebody asked me the other day, what would you do if you got a letter or telephone call? And I said, I think I'd just sit and cry. Half out of, let's see, half out of relief that you wouldn't have that worry anymore that something was going to go wrong with it, and you couldn't afford to put it right, and half out of, at last. I've had enough managing. I don't want to just manage anymore. I just want to be able to do what you want to do. Just be normal.
We find that living in a remote space like this actually reminds you how interdependent we are as people, and that sense of independence is a bit of a myth, because even when things are working okay and you have power, it's kind of always at the back of your mind thinking, when's it going to stop or break down? And when you're in the middle of a job, you're just thinking, I hope the power's going to stay on until I get this finished. If we have a problem with the generator, there's often that pressure just to try and fix it yourself because of the remoteness of where we are, even when sometimes you know what you're doing isn't necessarily that safe.
Sometimes I'm worried if something has gone wrong with the generator and Scott goes out to try and sort it out, that something might happen to him because he's sort of playing with electricity. If something did happen to Scott or he became ill or whatever, you know, I wouldn't be able to stay here. We'd be in trouble.
I'm 81, my husband's 79, he's my toy boy. And he's actually got a mental illness. His mental capacity isn't what it should be. You see, my husband was very mechanical. He could get electricity out of a stone. As he became poorly, those skills left him. So I'm his full-time carer. Not having electricity does make it harder. It's just so difficult to get a carer who can understand if the generator goes off, what to do. Where do you find those people? It's just so difficult to leave him. I can't leave him.
In 2010, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had to have chemotherapy and radiotherapy. In October of that year, my husband decided to leave me, and I found myself with my son here on my own, having absolutely no idea about power. or what to do. And you do feel quite vulnerable as a woman who's getting older on your own in this situation. And I have to admit, I have on more than one occasion felt like saying, I've had enough of this, let's just shut the door and go. But I can't leave this house, I can't sell it. All my memories of my son growing up and everything are here. I want to live here, it's just that it's made quite difficult. There's nobody you can turn to because most of the people just don't understand what's going on. They just don't get it. You sort of feel a sort of sense of shame because you're living in a property with no electricity, and as if you should apologise all the time for the fact that, yes, well, I live in this house and I'm not connected to the grid. Water is considered an essential right, and that nobody would have the power to stop somebody else from having water. In this day and age, I would say that electricity is a right.